Bada boom, bada bang, bada bop. We are back for one last dance with the Asics Megablast OG. We got the 100 mile week, man, and I didn't even try to do this. It wasn't intentional with the 100 mile week, but I told you I had an addiction to the Megablast, and the only thing to cure it was more mileage. And then at the same time, I've been having an addiction to the mileage, and the only thing to cure it was more Megablast. So it was working perfectly together, and we got the 100 mile week, 7 days, all in the Megablast. So today, I'm gonna let you know my finalized thoughts on the shoe. I know a lot of people have questions about the durability. I know a lot of people have questions about the price, and I know a lot of people have questions about the comparison. So I cover all of that in the breakdown section. I was extremely thorough. I'm not gonna be offended if you skip to the end. The timestamps are below. The first section of the video, I'm testing it, we're vibing, we're getting on the treadmill, all that good stuff. So if you are looking for a new Megablast, you are in the right place. An even better place if you're looking for this shoe. I actually haven't seen a whole lot of them on the app. I've started to see some. Apparently people got 2 pairs. So if you're looking for this or the MagMax or the Aero Goat or the Sky Tokyo or any shoe out there, you gotta make sure you're on the Supple app. It's my app. It's the best buy, sell, and trade marketplace. And I started it so that you didn't have to pay full price on a training shoe like this. The prices of shoes are expensive. I know what it feels like to be on a budget. So if you're looking for a great deal, get in with us. Hobby joggers will get a shoe. It doesn't work for them, so they list it on the app. We also have the best community of hobby joggers, sickos, getting after it daily, putting in work, slaying PRs, waking up early, sticking to the game plan, grinding. So if that's what you're looking for to get you through to your fall marathon or to get you through to the holiday season looking right, feeling good, join us and enjoy today's video. All right, real talk. I've been holding off on saying this in the past few videos, but this might be in the conversation for best running shoes of all time. And I know that sounds crazy, but it's the most expensive daily trainer ever. It's the newest daily trainer, and it has a foam we've never seen before. So it should be the best running shoe of all time, right? That's what justifies the $225 price. It's more expensive than anything else. Well, there's other random niche things like the Speedland, but in terms of the mainstream brands, most expensive daily trainer ever. And the fact that it doesn't have the plate, it's basically like, how can we take the Prime X Strung and make it more comfortable for daily training? That's the level this is on, man. And I know, again, it sounds crazy, but it should be on that level to justify the price and everything. So yeah, this is a special shoe for sure. And like I was saying yesterday, I'm just one person, so I can't tell you how it's gonna work 100% for you and whether it's gonna feel as awesome at your paces. But why it does that for me is how good it is as a daily trainer, and then the speed capability and the ability for me to just come out here day after day and crank miles on it. And what other shoe could do this? Nothing. So I don't think it's hyperbole to say that. I might have to cut that and save it for the 100 mile review. I don't think I can give that out in the long run video. We'll save it. And the butterfly agrees. $8:57 p.m. on a Mint Hill Sunday. I've been trying to tell you, man, the mileage grind never stops. So it's Sunday night. We had the 25 mile long run today, and guess what? Tomorrow is Labor Day, which apparently means you don't have to work. I don't understand this holiday. It's called Labor Day, and then you don't work. At least some people don't work, but we're still working on Labor Day, putting in the work. I'm going to pop out tomorrow morning, 4:30 a.m. to get the treadmill miles in before the day gets kicked off, because Labor Day, you don't work, aka you spend time with your family. So we'll do something with the family. And I got to get on the treadmill early so that I'm not cantankerous throughout the rest of the day. So this is my accountability check right here. Popping on the camera, making my coffee for the morning. I pre-make my coffee. This is what I've been doing. And you know what I'm actually going to do? Because I did this last week. And you know what happened? I left the coffee on the shoe rack. And it never came into the gym with me. So I just hit that run with no coffee. It was rough. So I'm going to put this in the Jeep, right in the cup holder tonight. So there's no chance of failing. There's no chance of doing a coffee-free run. So yeah, we'll be up at 4:30. If I can get in bed within the next 20 or so minutes, I'll get about 7 hours. I'm likely going to get around 6.5 hours just with the reading and everything. But that's not too bad. This is the thing. If you can get 8, 4 nights a week, 5 nights a week, the other 2 nights a week, if you're getting 6 hours, it all averages out. I try to make sure that my rolling 7-day average is above 7 hours. And as an adult, that typically has been what works for me. So we're going to close out this 100-mile week in the morning in the Megablast. 100-mile week in the Megablast. Big dog's got to eat in the Megablast. Yeah. Close out this 100-mile week in the Megablast. This shoe has just been absolute killer for me, man. Best daily trainer of the year. One of the best running shoes I've ever used. So we'll close it out tomorrow. And then my plan is to do some comparisons later in the day. So we'll get the miles on the treadmill in the morning and then come back around, hopefully pop outside, do some comparisons, and just talk you through all the finer points of what you need to know. But most importantly, we're continuing the mileage grind, because the shoes are great, but they're here to support everything else we're doing. And that's the one thing with this channel that I never want to get buried. For as long as I'm doing shoe reviews, the mileage always comes first. Don't you ever forget that. And it's been nice actually to have the Megablast, because I don't have to think about what I'm running in, because it's just so much superior to everything else. So it lets me just stack the miles. I'm just running the Megablast. And now after this, I'm going to be sad because it's up at 100 miles. We've got to move on and test new things, because if I don't test new things, then it's a tricky situation with the whole channel. I'm trying to figure it out. What happens if we don't test new things? It's tough. And people are saying I'm getting too light and fast for them to value my opinions. So I don't know what's going to happen. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll just start documenting the marathon training more. And we are locked in to the Bay State Marathon, which is going to be October 19th. So 7 weeks from today, locked and loaded, ready to go. All right, coffee is done. I'm going to take this out to the Jeep, and I will see you bright and early in the morning. Man, it's early, bro. 4:30. I could have used 2 more hours of sleep this morning, but if I sleep in today, I'm not getting the mileage, so that's just the trade-off we make. I'm feeling like I'm on the edge. I need some recovery, but that ain't gonna be today. We're gonna rack them and stack them this morning. Yeah, brush my teeth, put my hobby jogger hat on, and get to the mileage crushing activities. Let's do it. All right, we can get out of here. Quick breakfast in the car this morning. We got some cornbread. Have cornbread with the coffee. I'll be good to go. Also, I had to throw on the OG Max Cushion Gang hoodie, just to let them know. So we're doing Max Cushion Gang activities this morning, man. Labor Day. Gosh. I think Labor Day means we have to work twice as hard for our mileage. Is that what Labor Day means?
I'm so cozy right now and everything. So cozy and comfortable. But guess what? Life is not about coziness and comfort. It's about accumulating as many miles as possible. That's the meaning of life. A lot of people want to know the meaning of life. It's mileage. It's the relentless forward progress of mileage. That's what the meaning of life is. I gotta pause the currency. I'm gonna need something, I think, more aggressive on the treadmill. Oh, I could listen to the West Side Gun. I didn't listen to that yet. I actually tried on, Thursday or Friday when it came out. It was just too aggressive, man. And I like aggressive music, but for some reason it sounded like West Side Gun was straining more than he normally does, just yelling. And the first thing that came on in the car, because I was driving Reevesy to his new school, Charlie was in here and Roni was in here too. Just accidentally, my phone, like it did right there, just automatically connects to the Bluetooth, and it's just West Side Gun. Yo, forget these brothers! Except he didn't say forget these brothers. It was something else. And it was just loud, and it was him screaming, yo! Hey, yo! Forget these brothers! And so that was not good. That got me in trouble, actually, because Charlie, she did the thing. She immediately grabbed the volume knob and just cranked it down back to 0. And I thought, oh, man, she's not going to be forgetting me anytime soon. Alright, man, we're at the gym. A lot of people want to be talking about, I don't have the time. That's disrespectful. Find the time. Find it. It's 4:51 a.m. I just found it. I found the time. I'm going to need that forget these brothers energy this morning. Hey, yo! Forget these brothers! I'm the only YouTuber waking up at 4:30 a.m. to finish out a 100-mile week in the Megablast. Boom, 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 boom! I might have to get West Side Gun to do the ad-libs on the Megablast 2 first run review. Bro, when that Megablast 2 drops, you just know West Side Gun. Boom, 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 boom. Where my real slugs at? Where my real slugs at? We the only ones waking up at 4 a.m. to drink anaerobic natural processed coffee in the middle of a parking lot. Don't play with us. It's Griselda. It's Supwell. Let's go. I don't know where all this energy came from, because it's legitimately 4 a.m. This is what happens when you pursue mileage recklessly. You got energy for days, bro. I got energy for days. Alright, last bite of this cornbread. It's pretty dry. It's not good. But Charlie didn't make it. She did. It's from a box. I don't suggest Bob's Red Mill cornbread mix. This is the type of stuff that gives corn muffins and cornbread a bad reputation. I feel like I'm eating manna. You know, manna from the Bible. It's like the bread that rained from the sky. It's the only thing the Israelites had. So it was not very good. Some manna type cornbread right there. Alright, man. Magic door. Don't play with me. Not terrible music on, per usual. Oh, they actually are doing some marketing now. I saw they're doing a referral program. They emailed us. And they said, do you have any friends or family who want to sign up? So, shout out to my guy Matt for doing a referral program. But yeah, I decided to pop out in the Nimbus TR this morning. This is what I've been wearing a lot. I cannot recommend this shoe enough. Either the standard version or the TR. Just so comfortable, man. This is my favorite dad drip shoe right now. It doesn't look that special or anything, but it's just amazingly comfortable. Alright, and then the shoe. Oh no. Oh no. I left the shoe at home. Nah, I'm just messing with you. Don't play with me. Don't forget the Megablast. Nah. Bro, I'm really cracking jokes in the Megablast. Got a brother smoked in the Megablast. I actually haven't gotten demonetized by the gym music in a while. I think since one of the first times that I came to this, at least since he switched it over to this gym. Of course, today is probably going to be the day it happens, right? But plan for this run. Just going to hop on the treadie and bang out some mileage. I would love to get the last 15 all through right here, but I just don't know because of the timing. We'll at least get 12. The kids get up at, dude, Reevesy gets up so early. It's already 5:01. Reevesy gets up so early, man. Today was a long turnaround from waking up to getting on the treadmill. I think my quickest one has been 25 minutes. Or slightly delayed. I was talking too much today. Also, I decided to stay in my sweatpants because I was all cozy, so that took some extra time. I had to take my sweatpants off and everything. But yeah, I wish I could just take Reevesy with me. He needs some mileage anyway. He was up at 2:30 a.m. doing shenanigans. He needs that mileage to calm him down. I could tell. I could see it in his eyes. He's like me. Imagine me if I ran 0 miles a week and was 3 years old. That's not what you want. That's Reevesy, right? We got to get that mileage. Anyway, we'll hop on the treadmill, get this done.
Let's go, man. That's that good work. And you know what else? We got a nice sunrise out there. I don't want to lock myself out, but let's just look at this nice sunrise. I almost wanted to pop the camera outside and do a time lapse, but then I realized I would be wasting time. My time would be lapsing in terms of getting home when I need to be, and now I'm already lapsing my own time by talking. But man, that was a good run. We got the full 15 piece this morning. The playlist was hitting Skinny Shug into Skinny Shug 2. And I was feeling like Skinny Shug this morning, ordering a hit on the mileage. And then the playlist went into Lil Haiti Baby. It's my fall hunting season playlist. I might drop it today for you all. I'll drop the link down here in the description. Matter of fact, if you're on Apple Music, let me just put this to public. You can just Google or search on Apple Music. Hunting season is not on Spotify yet. I have to ask Grant to put it on there. But yeah, the Skinny Shug into Skinny Shug 2 into Lil Haiti Baby. Man, that was nice. That was nice this morning. Yeah, 15 piece. Oh, then the last song was Steel Wool. And then Boldy James said, "You brothers are not cut from the same cloth, because I'm steel wool," and I was feeling that. Oh, you know what else is a good transition? Megablast into Nimbus. That's elite right there. But yeah, 15 piece. Should I say it again? 15 piece. That's the full 100 miles in the Megablast. Man, best shoe of the year. My favorite daily trainer of all time, I can officially say now. And there's an argument to be made here for this being the best training shoe ever created. And that sounds like hyperbole, but it's not. And if you logically think it through, it also should not be hyperbole. Asics is the best brand out right now, or one of them. I think Asics and Puma are tied. Oh gosh, what is that? Oh, you saw that? Dude, that's okay. Let's get out of here. There's Barefoot Mafia music playing, and there's centipedes crawling around. This is the Barefoot Mafia spot. Let's get the heck out of here. Man, I do respect all cultures. I really do. I'm just telling you, the modern rock and roll music is just hard to listen to. And I'm not talking about AC/DC or Leonard Skinner or the stuff that Nick Ward is posting on the Supwell app, bro. I can get down with some Tom Petty. I can get down with some Jim Morrison, some Cat Stevens. I can get down with that. It's this modern stuff. I can even get down with some Chris Stapleton. You feel me? Because he has soul. Chris Stapleton, he's probably my favorite non-rapper out right now because he has soul. You can hear the pain in his voice. You know that song When I Was 25? Or was it 26? That's a banger right there because that man has soul. But some of these guys just coming out with the aggressive guitars. And they're playing the guitars not even like they're angry. They're playing the guitars like they're angry at the concept of music itself. Anyway, okay. I don't need to go on a rant. I would call that one a rant. I usually don't call my things rants, but that was definitely a rant against modern rock and roll music. It's just where, I think the other thing is that just gets me, it takes itself very seriously. You know what I mean? The bomb right there with the buff. There's just no humor to it. Have they ever said a joke in one of those songs or had a funny intonation? I don't know, man. It's just, bro, dial back on the Monster Energy drinks. Get you a nice cup of Diego Horta, anaerobic natural, and enjoy your life. It's not something we need to be upset about. All right. The run was, can you see that? You can't see that. 134 heart rate. It's just scrolling through all this stuff. 6:58 pace, 15 miles, 1 hour, 44 minutes, 32 seconds. Great run to close it out. And yeah, just so I don't forget, I'll keep it brief here, and then I'll pop outside, do the breakdown at some point later today. But just so I don't forget, the argument to be made for the Megablast being the best training shoe ever created. So Asics is at the top of their game right now. They're like the Dynasty era 2000s New England Patriots. They're the whoa. Remember that 21 Savage song, Bad Business? Whoa. Yeah, they're top of the game. The 2010 Warriors, the 2020 Chiefs, that is what Asics is right now. The Superblast was already the most widely loved shoe. I was not one of the people who loved it, but people had an argument to make that was the best training shoe of all time. And I could see that argument. It's just I don't like it. And this is a better version of the Superblast, man. And best shoe of all time doesn't mean best value. People want to say the Evo SL is the best shoe of all time, and that's fine. You can say whatever is the best shoe of all time, but that has a lot of flaws to it. The stability of it, the inconsistency in the foam feel across models, the upper on it being more basic, and even the people who like the shoe agree that it has those issues. The Megablast is really a close to flawless shoe, and that's what you're paying for with the $225 price. Also, this morning the Toebox issue wasn't bothering me at all, so you just got to dial in those laces. And again, you got to think about the foam too, the aliphatic TPU foam. This is the newest foam. This is the foam that's taken the market by storm right now. It's dethroned Puma as the top tier foam out there, and they're giving us a 100% non-plated version of it. Man, I saw, so this guy, Brandon Law, he's the running shoe gurus dude. He posted a leak of the Endorphin Azura on his Instagram account, and somebody commented, they said Saucony is giving us this shoe in bad faith. Now, I don't think that's true, but what they were arguing was that, man, the Endorphin Azura, 100% non-plated power on PP, that's old news, brother. That's just taking the plate out of the Speed 5, brother. The Speed came out in what, 2018, 2019? Let's call it 5-6 years ago, right? 7 years ago.
what you should be doing is giving us a non-plated Endorphin Elite 2. That would be the $225 training shoe competitor to the Asics. And now I think the only brand who can actually do a competitor to this right now is Puma. If they take the foam that's in the Puma Deviate Elite Trail, that exact foam, I hope someone from Puma is hearing this, take that exact foam, non-plated, put it in a similar formulation as this. The thing is it's on the heavier side. The Velocity Nitro is close. If you can dial in the foam somewhere between MagMax and Deviate Elite Trail, I think they can have a really close competitor. They also have to add more of a rocker than they do on their shoes typically, and they're gonna have to fix the upper so it's not so narrow and the last isn't weird. But Puma is close. They have the foams to do it, but they don't have it yet. Saucony is not giving us that with the non-plated Endorphin Elite 2, and that would probably be too unstable. Maybe if they do a dual foam HG and Elite. Regardless, Puma is giving the people what they want. Adidas did it with the Evo SL at a great price. This is a superior foam. It's like a better version of the Light Strike Pro. The weight is similar to the Evo SL with more stack height. It's everything that the Evo SL has except amped up, and that's why it's more expensive. Better stability, better comfort, better daily training capability, faster. I've done the fastest workouts of my life in this shoe, hitting 340 pace strides, hitting 400 mile repeats or 400 meter repeats at a 440 mile pace. So, man, complete top tier banger shoe. Asics has done it again. They cannot be stopped. The mileage train cannot be stopped. Another 15 piece. You gotta set the tone for the week. Let's go. Labor Day. Talking about labor movement, man. The only labor movement I know is the work it takes to move my body through this mileage.
All right, we have one more addition to the mileage train here. What is it?
Yeah, it's bada boom, bada bing, bada ba. Wait, Daddy.
It is fire.
It's wait. Wong.
First pumpkin spice of the season. It's a banger. Did you try it yet?
Yeah, it's pretty good.
10 out of 10. Forest Trail. Putting in work.
You can color anywhere on that page.
You already know I'm gonna be fresh as heck. The feds are watching.
Future said, "Man down over yonder, youngin' holding on the K like a drummer." That's poetry. That's really poetry, man. It's the song News or Something is one of his most overlooked, underrated deep cuts. If anyone ever tells you Future can't rap, yeah, I haven't heard that a lot recently, but it used to be something that the old heads would say, oh, Future can't rap. Show them the song News or Something. Man down over yonder, young and holding on the K like a drummer. I kicked this off, this entire Megablast saga, talking about the song Codeine Crazy, because that's what this colorway reminded me of. And then we went monster mode on him with the 100 miles in 7 days. I told you, man, it's like 2014 Future. Those were the vibes I'm feeling. We had to drop Monster. We had to drop Beast Mode. We had to drop, what was the third mixtape? Monster, Beast Mode. Bro, now I'm blanking. And then the next summer he dropped DS2. This really does look like the DS2 album cover. The thing with the DS2 album cover is it's blue and purple. This is pink and purple. But yeah, News or Something. That's my song recommendation of the day if you're a Future fan. Overlooked, underrated, deep cut. You know it's not an overlooked and underrated deep cut? The Asics Megablast. So I have done so much coverage of the shoe over the past week because it has warranted it. And every single video, people have said, I'm waiting for the 100-mile review. I'm waiting for the 300-mile review. Well, you're going to have to wait longer for the 300-mile review, but this is the 100-mile review. I did this as quick as I could. I don't do 100-mile weeks anymore on purpose, but this was just so good that I accidentally ran a 100-mile week in it. I was realizing this on Saturday. And Saturday, I only ran 4 miles, and I did it in the Superblast. I had 2 days in the past week where I didn't even run this at all. I actually think one day I ran maybe 2 miles in it. Yeah, the day where I was in the Fast R3, because that afternoon I did my double 8 miles in the Vomero Plus. So I was able to still get 100 miles on this while running in the Vomero Plus, while running in the Fast R3, and while running in the Superblast. So if there's one thing you need to know about this channel, and I said it yesterday, I want to be the best running shoe reviewer out there. I want to put these things through the absolute paces. I want to test them like nobody else can. I have this ability to run high mileage, and one of the things I can do with it is beat the crap out of these shoes. So when a brand drops a $225 training shoe, positioning it as the most expensive shoe in their lineup, one of the best training shoes on the market, you better believe I'm going to take it and see if I can break it. And guess what? This did not break. This did not even bend. This barely even has a dent in it. So with that 100 miles, let's take a look at this. I mean, midsoles, crinkled lines, yeah, sort of. I mean, we have some suggestions of wear here with the break-in lines, but man, I've seen shoes with one run on them. I should have brought the Rebel out here. After one run, that was looking more beat up than this. The midsole is feeling absolutely amazing. And then if we take a look at the outsole, 100 miles, man. 100 miles, and I've been known to wear on my shoes pretty hard. Let's take a look at I actually brought the Sky Tokyo out here. We'll talk about it in a minute, but this thing has, I don't know, 40 miles, 50 miles on it or something with the exposed foam. You can see it's all getting chewed up here, and the rubber is getting worn down. The rubber on the Megablast, nah, fam. Are you kidding me? Untouched. So when a brand drops a $225 shoe, the guttural reaction, and I've seen this so broadly this week, is to be repulsed by it. It is the most expensive daily trainer out there, and there's some shoes that are more expensive from niche brands. They're super niche products like the Adidas Prime X Strong 3, but this is non-plated, so we see a non-plated shoe like this, we want to vomit. We are repulsed by it. I am repulsed by it, and this is what you have to understand, man. People see me coming out here buying all the carbon shoes in this beautiful neighborhood, which, by the way, I live in Mint Hill, North Carolina. It's a suburb of a moderately large city in the United States. I made smart decisions in my early 20s to put myself in a position to be able to own a house like this. I don't live in some crazy expensive area, right? We were able to save, and so we bought a house. There's ways you can do that. It's not like I'm swimming in money. I think people see my stuff sometimes and they think I'm just, this crazy rich guy. No, okay. And I understand $225 is a lot of money. There were times in my life where I didn't have $225 in my bank account, right? When I was growing up, I know how it feels to have to cut those Aveeno bottles in half. I know how it feels to cut the toothpaste open. I know how it feels to not want to waste a single bite of food because you have to be efficient with it. And thankfully, even though we didn't have the biggest budget ever, my mom is an extremely efficient person. That's where I get my efficiency from, and she always made sure everything was exactly as it should be. So when I see a $225 training shoe, my initial reaction is also to get that taste of bile in my mouth. But at the same time, I'm privileged to have been blessed with a sense of perspective. And with having tested all these shoes as well, I've been able to sample everything else on the market. And so with this shoe being $225, we can't just look at it in a vacuum. We have to look at, okay, you have a race shoe. This is the Metaspeed Sky Tokyo, but it could be any race shoe, $275. You look at the Nike Alpha Fly 3, $295. You look at the Saucony Endorphin Elite 2, they just raised that to $290. Adidas Adios Pro 4, $250. I could keep doing this. Puma Deviate Nitro Elite 3, $230. So every single mainstream racing shoe out there is $230 plus. The median is $250, or maybe it's even gone up now to $275. So you can't just have a problem with the price of the Megablast, because what this is delivering is a 100% race foam midsole without a plate. So what they've done is they removed the carbon plate from a race shoe, made it more durable with the rubber, more durable, look at this, more durable, right? And put a more comfortable training oriented upper, and I'll talk more about the upper in a second. So with that being the package on paper, without even taking a single step in the shoe, that feels fair to me. Where's the lie? Where's the overpricing? Where's the overpricing if a race shoe is $250? You can't just be mad at the price of the Megablast. You have to be mad at the price of everything, and that's a conversation for a different day. You know what makes me absolutely sick? There's a concept called MAP pricing in the running shoe industry, and it essentially allows the running shoe brands to act like cartels. It's why on the Supple app with the Running Warehouse exclusive discount code, you cannot apply it to new shoes. You literally cannot apply discounts to new shoes. So when you see these random deals popping up for brand new shoes with the discounts, they're not really supposed to do that. They're evading the law, because the brands are allowed to act as a cartel because of MAP pricing. It's really sickening to me, and it's one of the things where if I had more time and resources, I would try to bring a class action lawsuit against these brands, but that's, again, a topic for another video. So ignoring all that, just looking at the performance of this shoe, this is 100% worth it to me. I have beat the living nitrogen infused midsole. I don't know if it's nitrogen here. Yeah, I've been beating this thing into the ground, man. 100 miles in 7 days. So yesterday I did the 25-mile long run. This morning I came out, finished it out with the 15 miles on the treadmill. First run, I did a really solid workout. I took it out of the box in 400-meter repeats, right, at a 440 pace. And in the warm-up of that run, I was throwing down 350s and 340s. You can go see all this on my Strava, by the way. Yeah, I was throwing down 340s and 350s. Some of the fastest strides in my life in this shoe. So it's able to do the fastest stuff, and it's able to do the longest stuff, and it handles those extremely proficiently. The comfort is there. The ride is smooth. It cleans up the geometry of the Superblast. The protection is just top notch, and the weight is so light. That's the other thing. It's the most innovative shoe on the market because Asics has now achieved a 247 gram training shoe in my size with a 45 millimeter stack height. It was 45.4 millimeters with a sub 250 gram weight. It is just unheard of what they're doing with this. So to me, when I see this, when I see the price, it is jaw dropping. It makes our eyes pop. It makes our heart want to stop. But the innovation is there, and this week has proven the performance is there. I can in good confidence recommend this, especially after doing a 100-mile week in it. And just look at it, man. Just look at it after a 100-mile week. That was 40 miles right there in 24 hours. Essentially, yeah, that was literally 40 miles in 24 hours because I finished my long run at what? Around 11 yesterday, and then I came back this morning and jumped on the treadmill at 5 a.m., finished it out by 7. So 40 miles in 24 hours, 100 miles in 7 days. It's a banger, man. The best shoe of the year, and has an argument for being the best running shoe ever created. Before I get into that though, let me talk about the actual ride. So what you're gonna get out of this shoe is a highly energetic midsole foam. It's all about the midsole. If you've watched this channel before, you have heard me talk about it. That is the frontier of running shoe development, and it's also what sets apart running shoes from other running gear. Now, fueling is the other area of things you can buy when it comes to running that can actually have a material difference on your performance. Things like socks, things like singlets, shorts, hats, they can't really change anything. I mean, having a hobby jogger hat, if it makes you feel like you're part of the best gosh dang running community out there, maybe that can help. get some more out of you. And if you're finding your friends at the start line wearing a Hoppy Jogger hat, I mean, seriously though, those are the things that can help you. But a singlet, I got into this conversation with some in the comments yesterday. They're saying, why are you being so hard on overpriced running gear? Because I was saying, man, these apparel brands, you're paying a premium, the consumer, you're funding their marketing. You are buying into the brand, because the $150 pair of shorts is identical in performance to the $30 pair of shorts. For me, unless it's chafing me or bothering me or reminding me it's there, it's not going to make any difference, man. I got these Adidas Own the Run shorts for something like $7 at REI 2 years ago. I don't love them, but when I run in them, I don't think about them at all. They're the same exact thing as the Soar shorts or the Tracksmith shorts when I'm out there, because all that matters when I'm out there is just focusing on the run and moving my legs. There is no midsole when it comes to the apparel. There is no innovation in the apparel. And I know brands want to cut holes in shirts and call it innovation. That's not innovation. Stop it. The innovation here is in the midsole. So with this, it is an aliphatic TPU, ATPU foam. It's the newest frontier. Brands are now moving, and the smart ones at least, from PEBA, polyether block amide, to TPU. That's what's in here. It's been in a bunch of the other great shoes this year. Not necessarily the aliphatic version. The aliphatic version actually is in the Fast R3, but Mizuno has a version of it, the Salomon Aero Goat. We'll still call that the Aero Goat. We'll talk about that in a second too. But that has a version of it. So that's the new frontier here. It's allowing these brands, and specifically with this shoe, to achieve such a lightweight with the bounce, that energetic quality, and the durability. So the ride here, extremely cushioned with that 46 millimeter stack height in the back, nice and smooth. The Novoblast and the Superblast has this effect where the back of the heel can drop before the front and just clunk along. This one doesn't have it. Very smooth, and it feels better the more you put down into it. And there wasn't really a limit to that at all. I was not bottoming it out at a 5-minute pace. Yesterday, mile 24 of that 25-mile long run, I threw a marathon pace pickup at 5:35 pace, and it felt just as energetic as when I did those strides straight out of the box at mile 2. So it doesn't fatigue the ride here. It feels cushioned, energetic, really good stability. And the thing with the stability here, it isn't holding my foot down. This thing with the Superblast, that can feel almost too stiff in the back, and like there's prescriptive elements of stability. So for me, I prefer the way that the stability is applied in here, because it feels like an extension of my foot. And for a 46 millimeter shoe to feel like an extension of my foot, that is an engineering feat. And that is innovation and just engineering prowess right there. So I feel, for me as a reviewer, if I want to be hard on brands calling stuff cloud brick mid, calling the Superblast the bottom brick, we also have to give them their flowers. So we really do have to give Asics their flowers for what they have achieved with this shoe. The lightweight, the bounce, the cushion, the fact that you can throw down a 25 piece and then a 15 piece the next morning and it's still going. Man, I got to mile 15 of the run today and I would have kept going. I would have done a 16 or a 17, but I knew I needed to get back here. So the ride is bouncy, cushioned, protective, smooth, and extremely resilient. That's the thing. That's another element that you're going to be paying for here that I predict will give you your money back. I think a lot of people will be able to take this to 400 miles. I really do. Am I going to do that? Unfortunately, probably not. Just because I have to test these other shoes. People are already asking me, can you test the Sonic Blast? And even if that's terrible, that's one shoe. That's the opportunity cost of mileage. I've talked about it already. I've talked about it before on this channel, right? I got the Sonic Blast. Okay, I test that. I haven't tested the Brooks Hyperion 3. I kind of want to check that one out. There's new stuff releasing all the time. So it's just really hard for me to get more than 100 miles on a shoe. The MagMax was the last shoe that I got up to 200. Absolute banger of a shoe. So maybe we'll get it up here. It's just hard for me to keep reaching for these shoes when there's other things to test. But maybe this is one that's worth it, especially because I think it's the best running shoe ever created. So that resiliency is another unique thing with this shoe. Just the fact that non-plated with such a light weight, and I feel confident going 25 miles in it. Shoes like the Aero Goat, and that to me is the bet and why I call it the GOAT. And we can go through some of these comparisons now. Why I call this thing the Aero Goat is because it feels like the GOAT daily trainer. This is really everything that I would want in a daily trainer in terms of the lightweight, the cushion, the balance, the protection, and I do think it's more of a heel striker shoe or a relaxed back shuffling shoe for some people. Megablast, it just takes it to the next level. It has everything that the AeroGoat has, and it just amps it up. And that's what you're paying for, right? So it's not a random $65 extra. That's what you're paying for. But if you compare these two, you have to think about, where am I going to start getting the value? And so that's the question with the Megablast. The biggest, is it worth it? Is it worth it for me? Yes. Do I think it's the best shoe out there? Yes. But, and I mentioned this yesterday, if you're doing mostly 30-minute jogging and you don't care about having the latest and the greatest, then probably don't need it, probably not worth it. Now, if you do like innovative products, it's like the iPhone Pro Max or whatever. I don't care about technology, so I just have an old broken iPhone from 2022. But if you did care about technology, then just having the latest thing is cool to you, and it is worth it because that's what you're interested in. Same thing with the Megablast, but in terms of their performance part, where it's actually worth it, if you're doing a lot of 1 hour plus runs, or you're doing a lot of speed runs, if you're doing high mileage training, extremely worth it. Also, if you travel a lot and you've been searching for that, what is that, just the one unicorn shoe, what do they call it, the silverback whale or the golden goose, what, the white whale, is that it? What is that one shoe that I could throw in my suitcase that if somebody needs to get dunked on, I know is there. If I want to do a random treadmill workout, is there. If I want to jog around town, is there. If I want to even walk in it, is there. And they do have an all white, a white and silver. They actually call it white and Piedmont. Maybe they named it after Piedmont of Carolina. Yeah, another good colorway of this. That would be this. This is now going to be the best travel shoe out there, especially if you get it in that white colorway. It's definitely not more comfortable than the Nimbus, but it is the ultimate do-it-all shoe. That's the difference with the Aeroglide right here, right? This is a pure daily trainer. I've taken it up to 15 or 16 miles. It can do 20-mile long runs, but I would just much prefer this for if I'm going 20 plus, especially with the marathon pace pickup. 100% confident running fast in this. Now, if we want to compare it to, and I want to do some comparisons so we know what this is for and the exact limitations of it. If we want to compare it to something like the Sky Tokyo, it is most certainly not a race shoe. So it can handle the middle 85%, let's call it, of your training. And the very pure, the pure recovery runs, that 7.5% of the time where you just want something extremely comfortable, it's not a Nimbus. Right? It's not a Nimbus, and at the same time, it's not a Sky Tokyo. So if you're racing a sub 245, a sub 230, or just at any pace and you want the utmost in speed, no, it's definitely not the Sky Tokyo. Sky Tokyo in my size is 170 grams. Dude, so light. And Asics is just coming out with these crazy light shoes up and down their lineup. If they come in with the next generation Nimbus and it's something like 295, that would be crazy. But yeah, this is just a lighter weight shoe. It has the carbon fiber plate. Of course, it's going to be faster, but again, I think for most people out there, if you do want to really get value out of your shoes, the Megablast could be an awesome marathon shoe. Somebody was asking me, is it good for a 3:20 marathon? Heck yeah, dude. I ran 3 hours and 18 minutes in it yesterday, 25 miles, and it was great for that. So that's the difference between this and a race shoe. Now, let's go to some of these other training shoes and highlight the differences. So one curveball I wanted to throw out here in a comparison. I really do think that the Megablast is like the modern version of the Ultra Boost. Now, this is the most recent Ultra Boost, but if you think back to the first Ultra Boost, that thing took off like crazy, and Adidas is trying to replicate it with the Evo SL. The thing with the Evo SL is it is such a compromised shoe in a way that the Megablast is not. And I was saying this earlier in the car, but they've made the product decisions and design decisions and material decisions around the Evo SL so that it could be affordably priced. Right? They don't have the best quality control on it. They don't have the best upper on it. The fit isn't the best. It's just rough around the edges. And if it works for you, it works, and it's amazing. This thing is put together like a Toyota. This thing is put together like a Lexus, man. No panel gaps. It's absolutely dialed in. But with the durability, with the performance, that's why I wanted to bring out the Ultra Boost, because my first pair of running shoes was actually a pair of Ultra Boosts, and I took them to 700 miles. I think if you're really durability minded, you will be able to take the Megablast up to 400, 500 miles. I'm excited to see some of those high mileage reports from people on this and how far it can really go. And also, because we don't know this yet, what's going to go first? Is it going to be the rubber? Is it going to be the midsole? Will it start bottoming out? I don't know. But if you think about the Ultra Boost 2, beaded TPU. So that same TPU foam coming back in a different formulation. So another shoe I wanted to compare. One of my favorite shoes of the past few years, and I haven't featured this a lot on the channel, Hoka Skyward X recently, just because there's been so many new stuff that's come out and the MagMax took its place. But when this dropped, man, I loved this thing. It was one of my favorite shoes of 2024. One of the most just fun, exciting shoes to run in. Now the Megablast is very fun, similar to the Skyward X, $225 like the Skyward X, but the weight, $250 in the Megablast versus, what is it, 320 roughly in the Skyward X, maybe even 330. So it's like if you took the Skyward X and made it that much lighter, right? And same thing with the Aero Goat in the Skyward X. I haven't taken the Skyward X past 14 or 15 miles just because with the weight of it, and it's not even a conscious decision, like I don't want to run a 20-mile long one, but every weekend when I'm deciding what do I run in, of course I could have come up with some video idea for the Skyward X, but I think subconsciously it's just, do I want to run a 20-mile long run in the Skyward X with the weight? Probably not, because there's just a better option. Same thing with the Glycerin Max. I've never done 20 in it, but the MagMax I have. So very similar to the bounce of the Skyward X. The Skyward X might take it for the fun capability, and I think that might be the one downside with the Megablast. Just at the everyday paces, it doesn't have the most zing for me. At slightly slower everyday paces. So if I'm going 750, 8 flat, I mean today on the treadmill was perfect because I average a 658 pace. But at those slightly slower paces, it doesn't have the most zing. Superblast, very zingy shoe, even though it's heavy. But just feeling these in my hands, oh my goodness, man. So much lighter weight in the Megablast. Now, comparing it to one of my favorite max cushion shoes of this year, boom. Mizuno Neo Vista 2. As I mentioned, Mizuno, one of the other brands who's just killing it with the innovation. Mizuno, Puma, and Asics are top 3 this year when it comes to innovation. Everyone else is a step behind them. So this is another TPU foam, very lightweight. Now where the Mizuno takes it over the Megablast is pure comfort. This is closer to a Nimbus. This, to me, at my paces, is more of a pure comfort shoe. Awesome for coddling the legs, awesome for just hanging back and cruising. Another downside of the Megablast would be it does want you to run slightly faster. Now it can do the recovery. I did some 8-minute miles in it and it was fine, but it's just, it has that, just the bark and the bite to it, that quality of, come on dude, you could go a little more. This morning, right, 15 miles at a 6:58 pace. It just wants to go out there and for you to put the work in. So it has that workhorse peppy quality to it. I would not say the same about the Neo Vista 2. Way more of a relaxed shoe. You can see there's getting some more wear on here. I did take this up to 100 miles. The durability will probably go to the Megablast, but this is definitely a more comfortable shoe. So you have to think about your rotation too, right? If you just picked up the Superblast and you're using that like you would the Megablast, and I did that head-to-head 2 days ago, you're not going to need the Megablast if you're using the Superblast as your daily trainer and your tempo shoe, and maybe you want something that's more relaxed. Neo Vista 2 is still better than that. So that's the one area, again, that 7.5% on the skinny part of the bell curve, when you just want the pure recovery, you just want the time on feet without maybe a lot of wild bounce to it, or you don't want to be goaded into running faster. That's where the Neo Vista 2 is better. But for daily miles, for speed capability, just for a more well-rounded shoe, that's the Megablast calling card. And that's really what makes the Megablast special. It is really good at a lot. It is highly proficient at very many things. That's not something I can say about the Mizuno Neo Vista. This is a high mileage, relaxed comfort shoe, and it does that beautifully, right? And $200, that feels fair to me because you are getting a ton of value. If you plow a lot of relaxed miles like I did this summer, then it's not like the Neo Vista 2 is going to be great. So even though I'm singing the praises of the Megablast, you still have to think there are some trade-offs to it, especially with your preferences. If you don't like a shoe that's going to encourage you to run faster some days. All right, speaking of running faster, we got 2 more conversions, one more here on the speed And I brought out the Mach X2, and you can almost look at this like any of these shoes in this category. Hyperion Max 3, I might do a full head-to-head with that. Evo SL, I might also do a full head-to-head with that. Endorphin Speed 5, whatever your Zoom Fly or Klume Fly Bricks, Boston 13, whatever your speed trainer of choice is. I have long had an issue with this category because they are literally designed to be worse versions of the race shoes. They're designed to be more durable, yes, but just it has more trade-offs. Because of the durability and because of, we gotta yapping so long, had to restart the camera. Yep, this shoe, for example, it has standard EVA on the bottom, and I don't have any problem with standard EVA, but standard EVA, not as bouncy, not as light. It's there to provide the stability, and if you need stability, then great, but the Megablast is also a very stable shoe. So this category of shoes, before the Megablast was introduced, I have not recommended very many of them. I've just found them to be compromised because if you're going for one of these $170 to $200 training shoes, they're slower than the race versions, and then they're less comfortable than a normal daily trainer. Like the Aeroglide, for some people, they do make sense. And I'm running certain paces, but I speak for everyone when I can say I don't want to recommend a subpar product. And a lot of these feel like inferior products that have been designed purely to make money for the brands, not to deliver anything special. Now, Mach X2 was one that I really did like. It was great for long runs, and it actually felt very capable of speed. That was my issue with a lot of these shoes. Whenever I try to run fast in them, and this is where my bigger runner side comes in, because at 155 pounds, 6'2", when I'm running an 8-minute pace, I'm not putting a ton of force in the shoes. Some of them, like the Rebel, I can bottom out at those paces. But when I'm cranking, right, 5 flat pace, 5:30 pace, 5:40 pace, with my longer legs and lower cadence, I put a ton of force in the shoes. And a lot of these shoes, like the Speed 5s of the world, or the non-plated shoes of the world, the Rebels, something like a Cyclone 2, it just doesn't give me much back. And it almost feels worse than running barefoot or something because I'm just losing so much mush and energy. Something like the Speed 5, I would rather go to just a lower stack firm shoe because it just gets so mushy. And I actually like that shoe for everyday miles, but at the paces where I like the Speed 5, I'm not putting down a lot of force. With this one, it was very capable. It wasn't getting mushy. I was able to drive the power through it and get the pop. So you are getting all of that still in the Megablast, right? And you're getting the everyday comfort. So Mach X2, they're putting the new upper on the new one. I haven't decided yet if I'm gonna get it. I probably will because we test everything here on the channel, or at least we try to. But I would go Megablast over this if you're looking at them, and I'll have to test the Mach X3, but just the fact that it doesn't have a plate and the geometry, it just doesn't feel as aggressive as the Mach X2. And I don't know if it's the plastic plate in here. It is very stiff, so is the Megablast. I don't know if it's the plastic plate or the geometry, but the Mach X2 does have a very aggressive feel to it, and that's why I like it for speed training occasionally. But still, then you're just, it almost seems to me the only reason to get this category of shoes is the price, and that's what bothers me about it, because they're just inferior products. So I would get the Megablast over this. The Megablast is a more versatile, more capable version of this, and especially with the prices being so close now, I'm pretty sure they raised the price of the X3 to $200, and maybe I'll do that head-to-head again. But you can get everything in the Megablast that you can in the Mach X2 with the speed plus the daily training capability. And it has nothing to do with the plate, but this just feels more like a normal daily shoe. If I'm running an 8-minute pace in this, it feels more like the Aero Goat than it does like the Mach X2. Mach X2 can feel aggressive. So that's another point for the Megablast, and another reason it's so great. It has the speed and it feels normal. All right, last comparison here. And I don't even know how to talk about these two together. MagMax, Megablast. This might warrant a full head-to-head video, but I did want to bring this out and acknowledge it because this was one of my highest mileage training shoes ever, or at least since I started this channel, 200 miles. This is also an excellent midsole foam. You can see we're starting to get some signs of it being past its prime here, but protective, cushion, bouncy. Another shoe where I've gone 23-mile long run. Another shoe where I can pop out any day, do a 22-mile day, 23-mile day. So absolute workhorse. Biggest difference between these two, the weight. Of course, there's differences in the foam feel and the upper and everything, but this is a much heavier shoe. This is about 315 to 20 grams in my size, around 250 in my size. So what is that, a 20% roughly difference? You can feel that on foot. So MagMax, for me, this is the shoe that I'll go to if I'm feeling nicked up, if my calf is feeling weird from a workout, if my knee is feeling weird, if my Achilles is feeling weird. MagMax. I don't know if any shoe will be able to dethrone it, and I really almost picked up that nice, I think they call it Army Green and Luxe Warm White colorway that just dropped. So that's what this thing is great for, just a tank. You can land any which way, which I really love. It's more than stability. This is the quality the Nimbus has too. You can land flat, you can land up, you can land back, you can land left, you can land right, and it just absorbs it. It's like it has air coil springs or air springs on it, and you're going off-road and it just whoop, it just floats you along here. So that's the point for the MagMax versus the Megablast, but the Megablast, speed and versatility. Much faster shoe than the MagMax. I do not like running faster than the MagMax. To me, you can do it, but it just feels like too much work to turn it over. And the one time I did a serious workout in the MagMax, I was actually feeling my hips getting some soreness. So it's kind of it's just a weird shoe to run fast in at my paces with it being so heavy. I prefer the Megablast. So I'm not gonna say which one of these I would pick. They're both excellent shoes at what they're designed to do. It's just their intended purposes are slightly different. The Megablast is a high mileage training shoe with extreme versatility that can still handle your fastest sessions. MagMax is a high mileage training shoe designed more for comfort and time on feet than it is for speed. You need another shoe. If you're going sub 3, sub 315, or even sub 4, you likely just want another shoe to pair with the MagMax versus you could get away with one shoe in the Megablast. Now, quick word on rotations in general. It's not just about the money going out the door when thinking about building a rotation. It's also good for injury prevention to have a second shoe. So the Megablast can do a lot, but you'll still want another shoe with a different drop or a lower stack height, a softer foam, firmer foam, something different to add a different stress on your body. It's not great to run in only one shoe because then you could be fatiguing certain muscles. But yeah, versatility in the Megablast, comfort and time on feet in the MagMax. So for me, with all these comparisons, all these shoes, this is the one with the weight, with the versatility, with the extreme capability at every single speed that is now sitting at the top of the throne for me. So I will continue to get more miles than this. I will continue to pull for it when I don't have other things to test, but it's hard because the pace of the releases is rapid and I want to make sure I'm covering the market. We now have the Instagram, which has been growing a ton, and one of the things I'm realizing is even if I don't want to be running on shoes for my own training, I got to run in the shoes for the Instagram so we can give the insights and be a source of information, and for the Supwell website as well, because someone actually DM'd me on Instagram. It was super cool, and they said their local running store found the supwell.com database and is now using it to train their employees on all the differences of the shoes and the drops and the foams and everything. So it's a cool thing we're able to do on the channel. I feel super privileged and appreciative for everyone who does watch and supports and allows us to do this and allows me to test all the shoes. And yeah, it is expensive, but to me is worth every gosh dang penny. And I know there's going to be a lot of low mileage boys out there in Megablast contrarians looking to get their opinions off for clout. Trying to diss the Megablast for clout. Stop it. Stop it. Yeah, this is a great shoe, man. Thumbs up. Supwell certified. Banger. Transcendent tier. It just broke the matrix. Dirty soda. Codeine crazy. Let's go. Megablast. I just went crazy in the Megablast. I might have to buy my baby a new Megablast. That's all I have for you today. Thank you for the support. I appreciate you. I'll be back tomorrow with another video. Let me just say this one more time. I really appreciate the people who appreciate what we're doing. And it might be annoying to hear me say this all the time, but I've just been thinking about that. because I put a lot into this. That's why the shirt says blood, sweat, and mileage. It's not just something that we put on a t-shirt. It's not just a random thing. Right? So we put a lot into this, and Barrett, Grant, Meredith, everyone on the team is now investing a lot into this. And we're trying to build it up, and people are connecting with it. So every time somebody DMs me or emails me or leaves a comment saying thank you, I hear that, and it helps me keep going. Because, man, in these early stages or mid stages, it's not always clear, the growth and the progress and whether it's successful or not. So I appreciate you. Man, we're stacking mileage. Shout out to everyone out there stacking mileage. Getting after it. Now I don't know what to run in, though. Let me know what I should run in next. It was fun just running in the Megablast. $100 a week in the Megablast. Bro, I think I need to eat in the Megablast. I don't even need a beat in the Megablast. I'm feeling like a freak for the Megablast.